This is Randall Root, and this video is about ADO.NET, specifically using the command class. In this video, we'll take a look at how to issue SQL commands with the command class. I have a Windows application project open, and on it I have a single button that when clicked will go through and make a connection. I'm going to, for just testing purposes, add another button to issue a command. I'll call it button command demo and change the text to command demo. I'll double click on it, and basically I'll be using the same code as before as I did in the connection. So I'll go ahead and take that code and move it over. This is not the most efficient way, but this is just a simple demo, so we're going to keep it nice and simple. I want to issue a command, so I'm going to go ahead and type that in as a note. And the close command is for cleanup code, so I'll put a section for that. To issue a command, I need a system.data.oldb command object. The properties that you use on a regular basis with the command object are the connection property, which is a connection data type, so you give it a connection object. The command text, which is the SQL command you wish to submit. The command type, which is to choose between using a stored procedure call or just straight SQL text. By default, it's just straight SQL text, and that's what we'll use. And to execute your SQL command, you'll use execute non-query, execute reader, or execute scalar. Execute non-query is used for anything that's not, well, a query. It's like a slug statement. So inserts, updates, deletes are all non-query items. Execute scalar is when you execute a query that returns a single result. Execute reader is when you execute a query and returns multiple results. So the first property I want to set is the connection property. I'll set it to my connection object that we just made and opened. Next, I'll set the command. I don't need to set the command type because it defaults to text, so I'm just going to go ahead and type in a statement. This is a SQL command I believe will work. Before I get too carried away, I guess I should test to make sure it actually does. I'll right-click and copy. And I have a copy of SQL Management Studio open currently. I'll make a new query window and make sure that I'm pointing to the master database. This drop-down box normally is kind of parked off to the side, so I just have mine moved to where it makes more sense to me. I'll paste the code in and execute the code. The query results I'm expecting to get back are these, which shows me the name of all the databases that I have currently on the server. So back in Visual Studio, I'm issuing the SQL command to give me a list of all the database names on that particular server. To actually execute the command, I need to go through and ask myself, what kind of results am I getting back? We're getting back a list of results, which is certainly more than scalar, so I'd actually use a data reader to capture the results. System.data.oladb.oladb data reader. And since I'm getting back multiple results, I use execute reader. If I got back a single result, I'd use execute scalar. If I got back it was not a query, it was an insert, update, or delete, I'd use non-query. So I'm using a reader, execute reader, because I'm getting back multiple results. Once that's submitted, I use the data reader to process the results I get back. If I was going to give back a scalar result, like from the command count, instead of using a data reader, I would just use an integer. And instead of using execute reader, I'd use execute scalar. Execute scalar returns an object data type, so I need to do a cast. I should check to make sure that the statement's actually going to work in SQL before I test it. Seems to work just fine. Now, to prove it that it's working over in .NET, I'll do something simple, like take a message box and show the results. And let's try it. In this video, we took a look at how to create an OLEDB command object, set the connection property to the connection object we had previously, set the command text to some kind of SQL statement, which we tested to make sure that it was actually viable. Then we talked about the fact that you can get back multiple results by using execute reader, single results by using execute scalar, and if you want to do an insert, update, delete command, you would execute non-query. That's it for this video. We'll take a look at processing the results from our reader statement in the next one. Till then,